Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. As you know, there is lots of content today because of lots of heated drama happened today. So, Fever's Sophie Cunningham gets into heated exchange with DeWanna. She exposed her going viral. Let's see what she said.
Never been afraid to defend your teammates. Why is that always something that's been so important for you throughout your career?
No, yeah, I think that when you love people, you just want them to be good, be their best selves, and worry about scoring the basket. And you know what? I know my role. Maisha knows her role. I think everyone on our team knows our role, and so it's just kind of who we are. It's in our DNA.
You had that first quarter, you guys only 6 points, but then really bounced back with 35 and then 30. What was Steph's message after the first quarter and just going forward?
I think it was obvious. We just weren't playing with the intensity and the energy that we needed. And yeah, we've had a lot of games kind of game off, but the whole league has, and so that's not an excuse. And we just got to come out. That first group, they've got to punch first. We got to have them call the first time out. But you know what? I'm proud of how we responded. I think in the past we would have just kind of let that snowball, but we didn't, and so I'm proud of our group.
The ability to win kind of ugly. Is there something you can take from that?
I think when you're kind of in the trenches and things, there's no rhythm, that, you got to win ugly games, and they're not always going to be pretty. But honestly, I think offensively, when we got the ball moving, C had a heck of a game. Kels always does. And so I think when those two are going off, everyone else just has to know their role. We'd love to see AB kind of get in it a little bit more, so we can extend that lead. But truly, we can't let them get to the free throw line. We got to do better defensively and get in transition more. And so I think if we clean that up and we kind of focus on us, hopefully Wednesday will be a good game for us.
And then what do you think that Mo gave you on both sides of the ball today?
Mo had a heck of a game, man. And you know what? I want to shout her out because she has, sometimes it's hard to be on a new team and trying to find your rhythm, trying to find your chemistry, where you belong, how to use your minutes. And I think she had a hell of a game tonight. Her crashing the boards, her making her layups, that type of stuff right there is huge, and we need her to do that.
Sophie, I apologize if this has already been asked, but the fourth quarter scuffle, if you could just talk us through your perspective on what happened.
It's fine. I think sometimes that's part of the game. I think we kept our heads. I think we could have stopped it a little bit sooner. But at the end of the day, we kept our heads. We finished the ball game well, and that's what we need to do moving forward.
Last year, you made a comment about.
Kidding.
Last year, you made a comment about just wanting professionalism about DeWanna and wanting a text message or something. Did you ever get an explanation after that?
It's old news. Old news, no, and we never will. And I really don't care anymore.
Could you feel the tensions? Simmering a little bit in the fourth quarter leading up to that, or was it kind of a flashpoint?
No, you know what? I think that in games, that's professional sports. Sometimes things get chippy, and that's okay. That's okay. It's okay for women to stand their ground a little bit and to have some extracurricular at times, because you have to hold your ground. But we're not worried about that. Like, we need to focus on winning the ball game. We need to focus on what we can do better defensively moving forward on Wednesday, and then offensively what we can do better. And so all that is just, it's going to happen. You got to take care of it, but also you need to keep your heads and move forward.
So quick, pack it up.
Yeah, it's done. We got the dub. Who cares?
Well, this is Sophie Cunningham right here, and honestly, Sophie Cunningham looked completely unbothered by everything that was happening around her. While emotions were running high and players were going back and forth, Sophie Cunningham looked like she wasn't worried about any of it. Meanwhile, the Phoenix Mercury came into Indianapolis playing with a lot of intensity. And throughout the night, there was plenty of drama surrounding the game, whether it was the exchanges between players, the technical fouls, or the constant stoppages. It felt like the focus kept shifting away from basketball and toward the tension on the court. That's what made the entire situation so surprising. These are professional athletes. Fans come to watch great basketball, not arguments and confrontations every few possessions. The game itself was entertaining, but the extra drama became one of the biggest storylines of the night. For me, that's the disappointing part. There were kids watching this game. People saw how heated things were getting. That's not usually what people expect to see when they tune in to watch the Indiana Fever, Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna, and the Phoenix Mercury compete on the court. So now look. So Caitlyn Clark was on the bench, and this is what happened. Let's all watch it. She bricked it because she sucks. That's what Caitlin Clark basically said. It's like it doesn't get moved very easily, and so you might not feel like that's that much of a hit, but the officials are looking at it and saying, right, a little bit, justice. It's like, she does this because of WNBA officials. WNBA officials suck. I don't know what's going on with this league's officials. This is bullshit, man. I feel like how these WNBA players control their anger on these kinds of officiating, I feel like somebody go and beat their ass. This is ridiculous. Now, in this game, we could sit here and break down every possession, talk about every run, pull up the box score, pull up the team stats, and really dive into everything that happened tonight. But before we got into all of that, I had to get a few laughs out because there was definitely some craziness that took place during this game. So for those of you who stuck around through all the drama and all the funny moments, let's officially get into the post-game show. Let's talk about what happened between the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury. The final score was 86-77, and Indiana walks away with a huge victory. What's crazy is that this game didn't start looking like a win at all. The Fever found themselves in a massive hole early. At one point, the Mercury were up by 16 points, and it looked like things were getting out of control. But credit to the Indiana Fever, because they responded quickly and completely flipped the momentum of the game. The largest lead for Indiana ended up being 21 points. Think about that for a second. They went from trailing by 16 to leading by 21. That's a huge swing and shows how dramatically this game changed. Now, looking at the team numbers, the Fever shot 42% from the field. More importantly, they held the Phoenix Mercury below 50% shooting. That may not sound like a huge deal, but if you've been watching recent Indiana Fever games, you know opposing teams have been shooting extremely well against them. That's why I said earlier that maybe, just maybe, Stephanie White is finally starting to figure some things out. Now, let's be fair. The Phoenix Mercury came into this game with a 5-12 record and leave Indianapolis at 5-13. They have struggled all season long, so this wasn't exactly a matchup against one of the league's elite teams. Still, a win is a win, and the Fever needed this one. One area that wasn't great was the three-point shooting. Indiana finished 10 of 34 from beyond the arc, which comes out to just 29%. That's well below what fans are used to seeing from this team. Thankfully, Caitlin Clark still showed up. Caitlin Clark knocked down big shots, controlled the pace, and once again proved why she is one of the biggest stars in the WNBA. This was her 6th consecutive game scoring more than 20 points, and somehow people still don't want to talk about her in the MVP conversation. On top of that, Caitlin Clark set another WNBA record. She now owns the longest streak in league history of games with 20-plus points and 5-plus assists, breaking her own record from 2024. That's greatness. That's history. That's Caitlin Clark. We'll discuss Stephanie White's press conference in the next video. For now, I'm done. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.